Here's a fun fact that you can entertain your family with knowing. California is the only state in America that can create its own auto emission rules. Did you know that? It's true. We'll explain a little bit of the history of how that happened in just a little bit. But every other state, including Oregon and Washington, has a choice to make. You could follow the more lax federal rules or adopt the tougher California ones. And if you decide to follow California, you have to follow it exactly. And that's why Oregon and Washington are on the road, see what I did there? On the road to banning the sale of new cars running on gasoline by 2035. Washington passed a law in 2019 committing the state to following California's emission rules. Many drivers are already behind the wheel of an electric car in Washington. The state recently hit the milestone of 100,000 EVs on the road. Now, building enough charging stations to support a lot more electric vehicles, that is going to be an engineering challenge. But the Washington Department of Ecology is confident it's all going to work out.
The whole network we have to deliver fuels that gets it to our cars is a completely different system. But once we get that system built, the real advantage of electric cars, aside from the fact that they emit far less pollution, is that they're actually cheaper to operate.
Washington State is already taking public comment on its rules for zero-emission vehicles. That's ZEV, if you want to say it the way the cool kids do. So go to the Washington Department of Ecology homepage and type in ZEV, Z-E-V, and then scroll down to the bottom of the page, the first entry, and you'll find a comment form if you want to give public comments there. As for Oregon, the State Department of Energy reports Oregon has 52,000 electric vehicles. Most are found in Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas County. But if you look closely there at the map, you can see that Malheur County has 37 electric vehicles. Oregon adopted the California emission standards back in 2006, and we're still following their program. So look at this chart. It shows how the ZEV program is going to be rolled out here. Look at the numbers on the right. They show that in the year 2026, less than 4 years from now, zero-emission cars must make up at least 35% of all the new cars sent to Oregon for sale by auto companies. And while I say cars, I mean trucks as well, all vehicles. In less than 4 years, you're going to see a lot more ZEVs on the auto dealerships. But at least that's the plan. Now, some dealers I've talked to recently say it's really hard to get new electrical vehicles in right now, but things should get better. As you look down the chart, you can see the requirement is 100% of those new cars and vehicles by 2035. 100% going to be ZEVs. Now, some of you have asked if you'll have to scrap your gas-powered car, or at least not sell it to somebody. The answer is no, you don't have to scrap it. You can keep the gas vehicle as long as you want, and at least for now, selling it is not a problem either. The Oregon agency coming up with these rules is the Department of Environmental Quality. Today, they held a Zoom meeting complete with PowerPoint slides and super small boxes there on the right for the speakers. And it is something that they talked about here. So one of the things that they talked about was how much it's going to cost and that it's going to help,
reducing these emissions overall will provide a benefit to low-income communities and communities of color who are often disproportionately impacted by transportation pollution due to their proximity to roadways. It can also result in reduced mortality, reduced hospital visits, and fewer lost workdays, resulting in financial savings at what we estimate is a total benefit of up to $625 million.
Okay, well, that's a lot of money, but when pressed, then the speaker there was admitting that, well, that came from a California report. Now, they also talked about what it's going to cost the automakers to come up with all these changes and the modified versions and the ZEV and all that sort of thing. They estimated it's going to be about $3 billion. I got to tell you, though, an executive from Ford Motor Company who leads their electrification policy and projects team was on the call and could not let that one pass.
Rachel, this is Steve from Ford. I think Ford alone has committed to, we're in the process of investing $50 billion before 2026 on our EV plan. And I know that's just Ford. The other companies are in similar spots. So there's a tremendous amount of investment being targeted for this, and that's a good thing. That's going to make this happen. But it's a lot more than $3 billion.